All right, guys, let's start walking. We're back in Vegas finally after a couple days in beautiful San Diego. We here. What's going on, Mr. Rob? How you doing today? Getting ready for your big old trip? Yeah, I'm happy to be back in Vegas. San Diego is beautiful. It was a little bit chilly yesterday, but I love San Diego. It's a great little getaway from Vegas. Yeah, hopefully the weather will be nice next week when you're out here, or this week, or whenever it is you're out here. Just go check out the Hard Rock and see what we can see from over here. Not really much from this angle. High of 105. That's going to be nice weather, man. Have to go down to the next level for a shot of the Hard Rock. Yeah, we got home last night around midnight. Had to stop and charge a few times. Stopped and ate, all that good stuff. We had a lot of fun. Phillies swept the Padres, so that was good. There's the Hard Rock. You can see up top. Let me zoom a little bit. See the balconies. Those balconies are going to be cool. That's going to be a good spot to party if you're staying at the Hard Rock. Yeah, man. Did you see that catch the outfielder made to save his streak? That was an amazing catch on its own. So he broke the Phillies franchise record for scoreless innings, and he's still got quite a while to go before he gets the major league record. Tattoo, what's going on? Welcome in. Welcome in to the rest of you chatters that are in here. Tiffany, what's going on? They got a lot of work going on over there. I'm thinking that they may have started working round the clock. We saw them the other night putting some windows in. But I'm not sure if they're on a complete round the clock schedule yet. This is a little bit strange for me doing a live stream during the day on a Thursday. Dusty Wrangler, what's going on? Do they still give away the internet? I am not sure about that, Rob. Me and my son might go there later on today. So I'll ask for you, buddy. Murakami, what's going on? Doing some exterior framing right there, which will be nice. Once they start getting a front on this thing. To your account are available for immediate download. So we just had another video on TikTok get restricted, and it was about the hot dogs in Casino Royale, the $3.99 foot-long hot dog, which I think is a little bit overpriced for a foot-long hot dog that you got to pay extra for the condiments on. But apparently, in that video, there's a slot machine behind Jay, so that triggered a whatchamacallit, a community guideline violation for having a slot. She wasn't even talking about gambling or anything. Ryan, what's going on? I mean, those hot dogs aren't that bad, honestly. But for $4, you can get better hot dogs. Kristen, what's going on? Where do we want to go today?
Yeah, I'm walking out though.
Yeah, the Costco $1.50 hot dogs, man. No, not YT. It was on TikTok that we posted that video. And it was like immediately, look at these people, like, hey, we're just gonna walk across the strip and block the traffic and not even hurry up. No, YouTube doesn't give a crap about that at all, man. You can sit down. We're only 326 miles away from Seaport Village. Well, maybe 328 from where we're at right now. So there's some big news about Caesars today, right? Came out that Tillman Frittata put that bid in, and for around $17 billion, right? That includes all the debt that Caesars owns. And that they have until July 11th. They call it a shop around period where other people could bid or Caesars could try to work out another deal. So, Alan, what's going on? So it may, it most likely is going to go through. I mean, I don't think we'll see any immediate changes to any Caesars properties come June 12th, nothing overnight. The big part of the deal is the Merkin, what's going on? The big part of the deal is that Caesars will no longer be a public property. It'll be private, and that could be a very good thing, right? Because then you don't have the pressure of the shareholders. He'll be able to do things a lot easier. He'll be able to set up Caesars for long-term success rather than quarterly type of earnings reports and things like that. Yeah, my offer of $150 got turned down too. But so that should be a good thing, right? I'm excited about it. Now, we could see some major restaurant changes, right? Because he is somewhat of a restaurateur, I guess they call it, right? Is that what they call it? I'm not even paying attention to that conversation Alan and Rob are having. So we could see some new restaurants. We could see some better priced food at Caesars. I don't know what they would do with their Caesars rewards, but I'm sure they could bundle that up with what's he own, Golden Nugget, and some other stuff. So this could be a very, very good thing for Caesars. Now, since he's private, he could also split it up. He could sell off the Link or sell off the Flamingo to another 50 cents on pocket lint and hopes and dreams. That sounds like a lot of the gamblers out here, Murakami. Well, the thing that surprises me is that he's going to keep the current leadership, in place for now, right? I mean, that doesn't mean in a couple months after taking it over, he's going to bring in his own people. Everyone kind of can anticipate that, you know? Jason, what's going on? Chatters, welcome in. If you are just joining us, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button if you like live stream walks through Vegas. It's my first stream back since I took a couple days down in San Diego. So we got the In-N-Out Burger down here in the Link Promenade. Oh, they got the misters on, which is always nice in the promenade. We'll take a little walk down, I think. I'm sticking with water for right now. I'm going to skip on the coffee for a little bit. It's it's a little hot. I drank a ton of coffee driving home yesterday. So we got to, like, after this deal goes through, because I'm sure it's going to go through. We got to watch the properties, right? The Link, Harrah's, Flamingo, Paris, Planet Hollywood, all the Caesars properties, and see if he starts to drop some money into some of them, or if he starts to, you know, just polish the turd, so to speak, right? Because if he's just doing a lot of little band-aids and stuff, then he's probably going to be ending up trying to sell that particular property. You know, hopefully it doesn't affect the employees that well. I don't know, Murakami. I don't know what kind of money that would entail, right? I'm sure that's going to be a big discussion. Or it's probably in there now. I mean, we're not going to really know the soup and nuts of the deal anytime soon, I don't think. Oh, this feels good. These misters feel actually really good. Mark, what's going on, buddy? I mean, I could definitely see him selling off a property or two. Now, of course, this has to be approved by the regulators, right? The Gaming Commission and all that stuff. So, you know, we'll see. And the shareholders, right? Caesar's shareholders can vote this down. That sounds pretty hot there, Kristen. 90 plus in North Dakota. I mean, what's the payment on the rent? I think I read somewhere that it was like 90 million a year, something like that. There's so many numbers involved with that you're reading when you're looking at these articles that it starts to get confusing a little bit. So here's Bojangles. Bojangles is going to be opening up there. I think that used to be the Harley Davidson store and the American. American moved up to Treasure Island, and the Harley Davidson store moved to another location right here in the link, in the promenade. I got a little bit of sunburn yesterday too on my face. So we got the high roller. Rob, are you doing the high roller when you and Joanna come out? I know it sounds like you two are like together, but you aren't. But it's funny that you will both be here at the same time. Honolulu Cookie Company, that is moving also. I'll show you where that is in a minute. That's going to move to a closer to the strip location, so that should be good. You're going to do the high roller on Sunday nights. What time you doing it? So the Harley Davidson store moved right down here, closer to the high roller. Yard House is a pretty decent spot. They got some good wings in Yard House, actually. They have a pretty good beer selection. So there's the high roller. That's 550 feet to the top when this thing goes around. It takes 28 minutes to do a complete rotation. So it's not really like a Ferris wheel. It's an observation wheel. Mike, what's going on, buddy? There he is. Let's ask Mike. Mike, are you happy about this Caesar sale? Probably before 5 o'clock. I'll tell you, like, it's a decent ride during the day because you get to see how big the Las Vegas Valley is. So the high roller during the day, a lot of people are like, oh, so much better at night, but you get to see how big Vegas actually is when you do it during the day. I mean, you see it at night too with the lights, but you don't really see the mountains in the background. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge stake of the strip, right? That's like, what, about like 40%? Him and MGM are going to have roughly 90% of the strip or so. So, I mean, I was just saying this, I can see him maybe selling off a property or two to fund this venture. But then I think to myself too, right? So doesn't he own a whole lot of wind stock? I'm wondering how that's going to play into things. Yeah, well, now he'll have a lot. Hey, Tiffany, he'll have a lot more power to, you know, make parking free again, or any of that stuff, because it's going to be a privately held company. So he's not going to have to worry about what the shareholders, right? If him and his board decide that they're trying to set up Caesars to be successful in the next 5 years, and one of the ways they're going to do it is by offering free parking, lowered resort fees, things like that, he doesn't have to worry about shareholder pushback. Yeah, they own what? They own El Dorado, right? Birdman, that's what I was thinking. Since he is Well, he's the largest individual shareholder at Wynn. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll figure, you know, they may force him to sell. That's what I was kind of wondering. Like, you know, I'm not sure how those regulatory laws work and stuff like that. Joanna, what's going on? Welcome in. So does this feel a lot better for you guys watching my live stream back in Vegas instead of walking around San Diego? I did 9 miles yesterday in San Diego. Not on that live stream, but in total, I did about 9 miles walking around while Jay and my son were at the game. She liked the water. I know, it was nice. The ocean was cool, and then walking down the harbor, that harbor walk was really cool too. Alan, I know Alan likes it back in Vegas. All right, here we are going through one of them cattle chutes out front of Flamingo. You know what we got to do? We got to go take a walk through. Let's go take a walk through Cromwell and see what it's looking like in there. The drive back was pretty good, Murakami. Yeah, I think we're going to have a mix. I think he's going to probably lower some prices strategically, of course, you know. Oh, you missed the San Diego lives. They were cool. The first one was like a short one, just a walking on the beach. The one yesterday was a little longer, walking around the harbor walk and stuff. That was pretty fun. I'm gonna let you find out for yourself. Oh, we can hear now. We can hear the day club over there. Yeah, that's Mike. That's exactly how they used to do it back in the day, right? When there was a lot of competition in Vegas, and we had what, like 12 to 15 different operators out here. Like, you know, if one guy raised prices, everybody else dropped their prices to try to bring the people over there. So, you know, he's gonna really, I think, incentivize a lot of stuff. So, you know, hopefully that's good for us, you know. There we go. We're gonna go check out the scent actually in the Vanderpump and see if it has changed from the Cromwell or not. You can check out your favorite Las Vegas scent at Aroma Retail. Use our code Neon City for 20% off your purchase. Qualifying purchases get me and Jay a commission. We're affiliates for them. I know, nice segue, Murakami. That's why Murakami is professional. Yeah, if we could get like, even if he split the properties, right? Let's just say he kept like Flamingo and Caesar's Palace and let's just say the link, right? Let's just say he kept those 3 properties and sold off the other ones. You know, that would create a more competition on the strip and probably lower some prices. We would be all discombobulated without Murakami. Okay, so it looks like they got rid of that red Gothic look. Still got the carpets here. Ooh. Got a nice little Vanderpump car here. That's pretty cool. I like it. So they got rid of those ugly red pillars and stuff. Some nice chandeliers, though. I like the chandeliers. Some trees. We'll have to come back through here later and do a nice proper walkthrough. I think it smells a little bit different. I'm gonna have to go home. You know what? I'm gonna have to bring that oil with me to compare it. That's a little quick walk through there. So. All right, while I was gone from Vegas for 3 days, did In-N-Out open up yet? Because I know that was like that's super highly anticipated. I don't know why, but I mean, it's just another burger joint. Makes good content, that's why, right? Mike, I don't blame you. I don't do I don't do buffets, man. I think the buffets are just, I mean, now 100 hours, all you can eat. Okay. I'm not going to eat all that. If I want a nice fancy dinner, I'm going to go to a nice fancy restaurant, sit down, not feel, I don't know. I eat too much at a buffet. I feel sick, right? When I get done eating at a buffet. Mike, I hear you with that, man. You know, some prices, yeah. I mean, but listen, so we'll pull over up here for a second. Now, everyone complains about parking here, right? So on Monday, when we were in San Diego, Steven, what's going on? So on Monday in San Diego, let me find it here. Let me put that up. All right, you guys see that? Right? So that was for 2-hour parking in a parking lot in Ocean Beach, San Diego on Monday. That's how much it would have cost us to park in that parking lot. $25 for 2 hours, right? Now, if you're just coming to visit Vegas or you live in Vegas and you overstay your 3-hour free parking at one of these strip places, you're going to end up with a $20 parking bill, right? But for the most part, if you're in and out or you know where to park on the strip, you can do it for free, or you have certain players cards, you can do it for free. But this was $25 for 2 hours. And then I would have had to move my car and find somewhere else, which would have probably been another $25 parking lot. So that was that. And then the hotel I stayed at, let me close that off real quick. We try to get this off the screen. I can't see the little X to get it off the screen. I got to pull over to the shade. There we go. So we got that pulled over, that taken off. Now I got to show you, I broke down so it was $45 per night to park. So Monday and Tuesday, they charged me Monday and Tuesday. We left yesterday. So that was $90 to park at our hotel in San Diego for 2 days. I mean, it's just like Vegas. If you're staying here at a hotel, you get in and out privileges. It's not, I think a lot of people think that every time you go in and out of a hotel in Vegas, if you're staying there, you have to pay. No, if you're staying at Cosmo, you can go in and out of Cosmo as much as you want for that 20 or 25 hours, right? $20 during the week, 25 hours on the weekend. And if you're staying there and they have a special event, you don't have to pay the special event. But, you know, usually special event parking out here is around $40 to maybe $60. I think I've seen it once or twice. So yeah, so $90 to park at the hotel I was staying at. And then there was some kind of San Diego occupancy fee. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I didn't notice it until I got my folio emailed to me. I'm wondering if that's like a resort fee or something. I don't know, because they had also a room tax and another tax. So that was another fee on top of it. That was like $20-some a night. So Vegas isn't the only city where you have to pay for parking, or you have these other fees that get tacked onto your rooms, right? So for Monday night and Tuesday night, we left Wednesday. It cost me $510 for that trip to San Diego, just for the room and the parking. So I could come up here and I could stay at Flamingo for cheaper than that on a Monday and Tuesday night. You know, I get some rooms sometimes, you know, where I just have to pay the resort fee. So even if I only had to pay the resort fee, that would have been around 100, 115 plus parking, 40. That would have been 145 for 2 nights in Vegas, as opposed to $510 for 2 nights in San Diego. So it's not just Vegas that is getting really expensive. But you say San Diego's an expensive town. What did you expect, right? I don't know. I mean, I remember when there was no resort fees and free parking out here, you know, back in the early 2000s. But it's been around for a long time, so it's not something new. Vegas has been slowly creeping itself up and becoming more and more expensive since the early 2000s. Let's go check out the conservatory for a little bit. I don't know. I think my comments are frozen too. I'm all the way back here from when Mike was talking about maybe coming in 2027. That's the last comment I got. Let me close these out and see what it generates. All right, give me a second here. If I'm not answering your questions or responding to your comments, every once in a while the comments on YouTube freeze. You gotta like close the comment section and reopen it, and that usually takes care of it. All right, there we go. I got it. Yeah, pretty soon walking traffic fees. Yeah, right. They're gonna have a just to enter fee. You want to come into Cosmo? It's $1.50 cover charge for every person that wants to walk through Cosmo. The $1.50 is really cheap. It's probably be like $20 cover charge. Bomber Riviera, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, let's go check out the conservatory. Haven't been there for quite a while. So you see these people dragging their little suitcases behind them. Here's a little tip that a lot of people never really, I mean, I've heard it before and I thought about it and I've done it. So if you have one of these little carry-on luggage cases like this person in front of me, if you drag that over to the ABC store, you can fill that up with your snacks, your water, your alcohol, whatever you want, and just drag it back to your room without having to carry a bunch of heavy bags. There's a little Neon City Walker nugget for you. Paola, what's going on? What's going on, pals? 34 more days. Nice. We'll definitely have to meet up this time around. There goes a toaster, the driving toaster. So we got free taxi service. Well, not, it's robo taxis, automated driving cars, right? They're free for now. I haven't even seen anything saying how much they may end up costing once they start charging. But it'll be interesting. Josh, what's going on? So nothing going on outside of Venetian right now. The fountains are not running for the afternoon. They got a work crew out here working on the fountains. That's always fun to watch. And we got this dope right here throwing stuff in there. Fucking idiots. Don't throw stuff into the fountain at Bellagio. The drive home it was really not that bad. Let's try to zoom in on this guy out there. We got one of the scuba divers out there working. There we go. Let me put this down. It's a little shaky when I zoom in. There we go. So you got a work crew out there working on, I guess, the lights and the jets and all that good stuff for the Bellagio fountain. Not something that we see all the time, but we catch it a lot because we do the daytime live streams. The people that are on here at night really never get to capture this. But there we are. We got Caesars in the background. That's like Vegas prices, Kristen. They're like $2.59. And we got these people throwing coins too. You really shouldn't throw coins into the fountain because they got the birds that come out here and the birds eat it. They got fountains on the inside that you can throw your coins in. I said that loud enough for them to hear me too. Bellagio needs to put some signs out here. I mean, there is a sign saying don't throw coins into the fountains, but yeah, you have to download that Zooks app. They're going to ask you for like your credit card payment information, but they don't charge you anything. I think they just want to have that on file for when they do finally start charging people for the Zooks rides. Mike, you're still on here? Look at that beautiful view of Paris we got. Mike's favorite spot in the whole entire world. Yeah, people throw coins and stuff in there, and you know we get a lot of birds, ducks, and geese and all that like swim around in the fountain there, and they see that shiny stuff on the bottom, and they dive down to try to get it, choke on a nickel. Not the best thing in the world. Kind of like the idiots that were throwing change in the koi pond when they had the koi ponds in the conservatory. Hold on, I gotta close my water up. I'll just set this here for Mike's enjoyment. Mike's a good sport. All right, question here. Who is I don't know if you guys can hear, but you guys can hear Janicid or Phil Collins playing on the speakers here. Because I got a question. I think I'm like one of the only people in the entire world who is not like a Phil Collins or Genesis fan. I said that to Jay recently, and she could not believe me. She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I just never really liked it." And no streaming with Joanna. Joanna, you don't want to come out and stream with us? Listen, if Rob joins us for a live stream, it's only going to be about a 3-minute, 4-minute walk, and then he's going to have to sit down, or he'll get lost, he'll get turned around. And then we'll spend the rest of the live stream trying to figure out. Americamis, what? Unfollowed. You think you like one of his songs, right? Listen, that drum solo he does in what's that song called? Tonight or whatever it is. That's an awesome drum solo, but really, I'm just not really that huge of a fan of his. No pushers today. I got to go in my stream from the other night when we had the people get stuck. I forgot to download that. Because what happened is I took a lot of video and my phone got filled up. So I just deleted a ton of stuff off my phone while we were in San Diego. All right, so I'm not the only person that isn't like, ooh, Phil Collins is on, right? Some people really, really like him. So how much longer we got for this thing? We already got like another week or so, I think. You don't do pictures or anything, so okay, we can respect that, Joanna. We can respect your privacy and not have you in any live streams or any pictures. I'll make sure that when we meet up, we don't. They're like, that's like fighting words, Murakami. You're gonna put mayo on a Philly cheesesteak. That is terrible. That's just a poor life decision right there. June 6th is when this one goes away. Oh, Joanna, stop, stop. We don't. Uh-oh. Somebody dropped the scooper in there. See, so there's a shit ton of change in here. Bring your change in here and throw it in here. Nobody cares. Yeah, I like this display. This has been one of my favorite ones, especially at night. Um, I haven't been coming in here as much because it's YouTube. I can walk through a casino. I don't have to show you all the safe stuff, right? But if you're on TikTok, we had our little loop that we would do. And I should probably start coming back in here a little bit more. Let's try to get around these folks here. Okay, they're walking. So this is the front display, right? This is where everybody gathers to get their pictures, right? Looks beautiful. But if you walk around the back, and this isn't for every single one, but for this one and many other ones in the past, if you walk around the back, you pretty much get the same picture as you do while you're waiting in the front. Now there's a little rowboat in here. It's named the Bellagio on the back. I'm wondering if that's new, where it says Bellagio, because we were joking around calling it the Fortuna 2, the poor man's boat through the Bellagio, because they do have that $3 million yacht that they take around, and I've only seen it one time in actual use out in the fountains. So they got a $3 million yacht that I've only seen used once. So, and that's only for high rollers and special people. The one that goes, oh, there's people in there. We're gonna walk past them because I don't like to encroach on people's private time. Oh, you know what? They're around the other side, I think, Murakami. So this is the back of it. So when we walk around, you've seen the yacht used several times. I've only noticed it with someone on it, besides like the captain or somebody like that. I've only seen it once. I've seen it drive around a few times with just the captain on it, but how you doing today, Tobin? Thanks for joining, man. Spending any time here is very much appreciated, man. Thank you so much. I love this big giant stained glass. This looks magnificent at night. Or we can check out Bruno Mars, right? The Bruno Mars, that is his album cover for his new album. So they did a little pop-up with Bruno Mars right before this opened, and I think this was part of his pop-up. So they just brought it over here to be part of the display, I guess. That was back when they were doing the whole big giant celebrating Bruno Mars, naming streets after him.
Hopefully doing something for you.
You've seen it used at least a dozen. Well, you know what? You watch a lot more live streams than I live stream, so. Take a sip of water here. Then we're going to get back over to those flowers, which I think are the same ones we saw in San Diego. And these odd shaped bushes here, which if we describe the one to the left, we would have to talk about on Neon City Walkers After Dark. You want to ride the shopping cart, Rob? Cartzilla, yeah, check it out. Sure you can find somebody with a link. Let them get a little bit of something. So this is the front view of it. We're gonna walk across here. It's almost the same exact view in the front as it is in the back. So if there's a big line here in the front, just go around the back and get your picture. So here's those flowers I was talking about in San Diego, right? Are they pretty much the same flowers? But in much nicer shape than the ones that we saw in. Oh, that's because these ones are fake. Look. We found some fake flowers here. Ah, look at that. Now the rest of these are all real. Those ones are fake. These are these look fake too. Huh. Looks like they're cutting back a little bit here in the conservatory, finding more and more fake flowers. I do like these little pockets, these little ponds that they have in there. That's really cool. So normally, like most of the stuff there is real. Some of it is fake. I guess the more delicate stuff they probably do fake. But all this ground covering stuff, that's all real. And you know, obviously they don't have any way to water those hanging from the carousel, but the rose balls, these are real. They're all preserved roses that are hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
So I think the ones around the horses, they look like they might be real. I don't know. We could probably come in here. I see little kids every once in a while trying to pick them. I always try to see if they're doing like real ones or fake ones. Yeah, they can't water them plants up there. Yeah. All right, where do we want to go now?
Pictures. Yeah.
It's really not that hot out today either. Am I gonna water something out of wood? Man, you guys crack me up. That's my Philadelphian. Where do we want to go? I said I'm bilingual, right? I speak Philadelphian and some English. Let's see. Are we going to get any pushers? These people don't look like pushers here. No pushers. Yes, Rob's going to grace us with his presence in 3 days. And we're all super excited to have Rob out here. Yes, the correct Philly spelling is Wooder. And that's actually the proper way to pronounce it too. So the rest of the world is pronouncing that word wrong. Goal achieved, Rob. You're not even here and you achieved your goal. I'm excited actually to see Joanna. I've already met Rob, been there, done that, you know. I think the last time Joanna was in town, we missed each other. Oh man, these guys gotta get this one working. Not water. It sounds like you're whining when you say water. We should check out the piano bar at Harrah's. Rob, that's really fun. That's a nighttime thing, man. Go sit there, watch the people do their karaoke, dual pianos come on. It's actually really fun. Josh is coming out. He's going to be the next World Series of Poker winner, or I hope he is. That was a dream of mine years ago to play in the World Series of Poker. Joe, what's going on, buddy? So, Rob, you're coming. You and Joanna both arrive on Sunday, correct? Because, like I said, we have a couple people that we're friends with from Philly that are coming in also next week. So, we have a busy week. So, we're trying to plan some stuff and figure some stuff out. All right. So, Sunday morning. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right, one big giant bottle of water done. That's my second for the day. I had one earlier. And I've only had one coffee today. Maybe that's why I don't feel as vibrant as I normally am. Where's all my stuff at? Hold on one second. Use live status indicator. There we go. That's crazy that you guys are like 45 minutes apart when you guys fly in. Who said that? Jason, welcome in, man. And Wednesdays if I'm not too busy. But I was in San Diego and I live streamed in San Diego Tuesday and Wednesday during the day. And I took an extra day off because I knew I was going to be tired from the ride. So it really wasn't that bad of a ride. We did see two really bad accidents. And we actually, so 15, once you get past Baker, heading towards Vegas, is notorious for having accidents, right? I mean, that whole stretch going through the desert is notorious for accidents and stuff. And I'm in the middle lane. I had just passed a 18 wheeler. I'm in the middle lane. I'm doing, I don't know, 70 to 75. I don't drive that fast. Plus, when you start hitting those upper ranges of 80 plus in a Tesla, it really drains the energy. And I have Tesla insurance, so it flags me if I'm doing like over 85 and I get like a point deduction or something like that. So I'm passing this 18 wheeler. I pass this 18 wheeler. I drive like another mile or so. And I see an 18 wheeler up in the distance with its flashers on. So I slowed down. Is a car with the front end basically torch cam. So I'm going to try to take that clip off the dash cam and post it. Then we get about maybe 15 minutes down the road and we are going through, we hit like a bunch of traffic that's slowed down over on the side of the road. They already had the tow truck there, a couple state troopers, and there's this car that's just mangled. Like it must have rolled like 10 times. So yeah, there was two pretty bad accidents. The one must have just happened because there was no police, no ambulances, no fire trucks, no nothing there yet.
No, but hold on.
So we left San Diego around a little after 4, I think, yesterday, and we got home around like midnight. We stopped to charge a couple times. So I don't want to say I have range anxiety or anything like that. So let's see how the crowd looks in here at Cosmo today. It's the kind of things that I try to tell our people on TikTok that you can't see on TikTok. So come follow us over here. But, you know, some people just, I don't know, they don't want to listen. So I don't have range anxiety, right? Because I always know where the next charging station and all that stuff is. I just don't like to let it run down, and I don't like to charge the way Tesla tells you to charge on road trips. They're like, drive here, you're gonna arrive with like, you know, 20% energy, charge for 8 minutes, right? Which is gonna get you up to like 35 or 40%, and then drive. You're gonna arrive at the next destination at 15%, charge for 6 minutes. I don't do that. I usually just drive it until it hits in between 20 and 40%, and then I charge back up to 80%. So it does add a little bit of time, but I don't mind. I like to sit, relax, and as we're driving. I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
Tobin, all right, buddy. Thanks for joining in. All right, where do we want to go after this? You guys want to walk down to check out the stadium? We can do that if you want. You guys tell me where you want to go next. South end of the strip or center strip. I'm not walking all the way to the Strat. I'm telling you that right now. But I have a Model 3 with it's just a standard range, right? So me and my son, we were like all about getting, I don't want to say I was all about getting a Tesla. I was all about getting an EV, right? Whether it was a Tesla or you know, something else, right? But my son, he was all about getting a Tesla. Our Prius took a shit and we needed something new. So I found a really good deal on a 2020 Model 3 and it was a standard, right? And I ended up paying like 18 for it. And the reason was I wasn't sure if Jay was going to actually like having a Tesla. So I didn't want to like pay more for a car that if she didn't like, I would have to trade in and lose money on. Um, Overlook. All right. We'll walk down to the Overlook. Which way should we go? Let's go through Aria. We'll go around the other way. Go say hello to the dogs. Glitter Coffee, the guitar is looking pretty good. I was up that way earlier. I think you can rewind back to the beginning of the stream and you'd be able to see um, the guitar. I think I have DVR enabled on here so you guys can rewind. Someone said it wasn't, and then I think I switched the settings, so now we can. Yeah, so I didn't want to like, buy something that maybe Jay didn't like, and then I would be like trading it in and losing money. But here it turns out that she actually loves the Tesla. She's always talked, she says she could live in the Tesla. And so eventually we'll get another one, something newer, extended range, and I'll probably just take that one. So we're gonna go check that out. We'll go down. What was that place called? It's a Greek yogurt. I have no idea when the In-N-Out is going to open up. At this point, I'm kind of a little bit over the In-N-Out hype. You know what I mean? I mean, I get it. It's going to be a pretty cool spot to go eat some burgers and stuff like that. But I don't know. They're being like so secretive about it. Like, and I get it. They're building anticipation and marketing and all that stuff. But, go Greek yogurt. Nice. I love Greek yogurt. Yeah, I'm more over and out of the In-N-Out like hype. And it's funny because me and my son are going to go there this afternoon for lunch. But, it's good food, definitely good food. But, and it's fun to go up there and try to, get some footage. I think they lightened up on the footage though, because I've seen some new videos, and the last time I was up there, I didn't they didn't say nothing to me about no cameras and no pictures and stuff like that. But who knows? It could probably still be like that. Funsky, what's going on? Oh, and I am going to get back to the where am I in Vegas? I think Vegas. I'm going to schedule a bunch of them tonight. Just with the past couple of days being on vacation, man, I don't think I posted much of anything except for the live streams. So we are walking into Vidara right now. And we're going to walk outside of Vidara and we're going to make a left. And that's going to take us over to the Aria, in the north entrance of Aria, back by their patisserie. And this is a nice way to beat the heat a little bit if you don't want to take the tram, right? Here's the thing about the tram. If you miss the tram, if you get up on the tram station and you see the tram pulling out, it's like around an 8 minutes average before the next tram comes, right? And then you got like I forget how long the tram ride is, a couple minutes, right? So let's just say it's a total of like 12 to 15 minutes. Now, you can almost walk from in that same amount of time, right? Now, if you were going to Aria to Cosmo, probably shorter to walk than it is to actually take the tram. Um, and I know you can go through the shops of crystals, and it's a short walkway there too. We're going to touch on that. That's another video I'm going to be making. Um, but I post some of these videos, and some of the comments that are in it are like, it's just so funny. Cracks me up. I love trolly comments, right? I love when people write like, you know, oh yeah, no shit. The Hard Rock's under construction, you idiot. That's why the sidewalk's blocked off. I love those kind of comments. I just laugh at them, right? And I'll just come back and say something nice like, well, this is for people to plan their trip, whatever. Um, but I just think it's funny how people just need to be have their voices heard, so to speak. Always cracks me up. So Funsky, at one point Jay was she still is certified as a Fura travel uh consultant. Um, I mean, it would be cool to do like tours and things like that. That would be fun. I mean, owning a business like that would be actually really fun, I think. But I think they're a little bit hard to start up, you know what I mean? And sometimes I'm a little bit lazy, to be honest. So I've been thinking about this too. So I want to show you guys something, right? Let's go over and say hello to Murakami real quick. The big, beautiful Buddha. Yeah, some of them do that stuff. Yeah, some of them do wake up and choose to be angry for the day, right? Tell them to step on a Lego, right? 2 o'clock in the morning. My 15, soon to be 16-year-old son has a huge bin of Legos um, in the garage. And every once in a while, like he'll bust them out and we'll have fun and we'll mess around with them. But I tell him, you better get all of them up, man, because if I come walking down here tomorrow morning to go to work and step on one, I'm coming up and dumping them in your bed. People just do that, man. People just like they wake up or they just say like the weirdest things sometimes in the comments, especially on Facebook. There are so many trolls on Facebook. If you guys ain't following us on Facebook, go follow us on Facebook, right? And just read through some of the comments. You post something and you try to like start a conversation, right? That's social media. Like we're having now, we're having a nice chill conversation. And people just like come in with like such weird shit, man. You know? But that's why I like our chats on the live streams, right? Because these chats that we do on these live streams, I really enjoy talking with you people, answering your questions. You guys giving me some, busting my chops a little bit about the way I say water or other stuff like that. It's all fun, right? Even sometimes, like, you know, but on some of the other social medias, they are just, woo. Yes, Joanna, you are 100% correct. See, they got the tournament tables up. That's what I thought that was for. The Aria Poker Classic, when they had that all up. Yeah, we do say some weird shit, but we have fun, and we all know that we're a bunch of weirdos in here, so it's all good. Especially that Rob character. He's a, you know, it cracks me up. Like, you know, like people, listen, I create content, right? You're coming to a page and you see a post by someone named Neon City Walkers or something like that. And all the reels and all the photos that they have are about you know, about Vegas and tips and tricks and all that stuff. Like people are like, obviously, don't come to Vegas if you don't like blah blah blah. And I'm like, what is this person? Has this person not looked at my like 500 post? It's funny though. This joint, what's going on? There we go. So I want to show you guys, this has been bothering me now, right? And this is, I was listening to a TED talk on the way home yesterday about city planning, right? Because I really enjoy things like that, like bike lanes and, you know, why intersections are designed a certain way. Like city planning is just a very, very interesting to me. And I have been thinking about this for quite a while, right? So let's pretend that we're staying at Aria and we're like, let's go get an In-N-Out burger, right? So we're gonna walk over to the Overlook and get our burger, right? And you know, Aria is an extremely popular, always busy hotel, you know. But they really dropped the ball on this, I think, when they were planning this stuff. Funsky, they've been scheduled, man. They've been scheduled. I think they were supposed to do it last year, but it is definitely in the time frame. 15 years is usually the time frame that like, you know, a luxury hotel would start to do like some major renovations to update their rooms. You know, and I've been hearing a lot of people complain about some of the quality of the rooms there. So we're gonna walk here, right? Now you can see the In-N-Out burger straight ahead on the other side of the strip, you know. The highly anticipated In-N-Out burger. But there's a big problem with getting there, right? There's no easy path to get there. What should be like a 5-minute walk, they now have created a pressure point of making it at least a 15-minute walk. So if we just walked down the bottom of this escalators here, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, right? So down the bottom of these escalators, and I think that there's plenty of space to do this on one or the other side of the street. And this is the Waldorf Astoria. That is the pool up there. It's for $45 a night to park there because it is valet only. But I want to tell you what, we've stayed there and it is absolutely beautiful in there. So In-N-Out, you see In-N-Out right across the street, right? You're thinking, oh, it's right there, right? This is one of those times where you're like, oh, it's right there. Now, there's no way to get there from right here. We have to walk all the way down to Park MGM, or we have to walk all the way up to Cosmo. There's no street level or no pedestrian pass, right? So here we are. They could build a brand new pedestrian walkway. They could probably even attach it straight up to the 3rd floor of the Overlook over there. How cool would that be? Otherwise, you got to walk all the way down there to see where that where Planet Hollywood is. or you got to walk all the way down to where we're going by Park MGM. Right now, that's turning your little I want a 5-minute burger into a 15, 20-minute walk. Very poor planning there. Hey, oh, what's going on? There should be actually way more overpasses for pedestrians here. Now, the other night, I forget where me and Jay were, but we saw, where were we? Oh, up by the Venetian, right? Where I made the video about the sidewalk being closed outside of the Hard Rock, right? So if you stand there, you get a huge crowd of people waiting to cross the strip over to the Venetian side, right? Sometimes you get so many people there that they can't even get across the street before the light changes, right? Now that's because of temporary closure of the sidewalk at Hard Rock, but that is a legitimate street level crossing spot. But when you stand there and look and you see that huge crowd, that's when you start to think, well, that's why Vegas always looked so much more crowded back in the day, right? Because everybody crossed at street level. So when the lights were red, everybody that was walking south on the strip or north on the strip had to wait at that red light, you know? Or if they were going to cross the strip, they all had to wait at that red light. So a big giant crowd would form at the light. The light would turn, and then everybody would just start walking. And with everybody's walking pace being different, it would kind of spread out into a longer type of line of people walking, right? So now with the pedestrian overpasses, you don't really have to break your stride as much, and people aren't congregating as much like they were at a stoplight. Now, I don't know if that makes sense to other people, but it makes total sense in my mind. So you're back in Vegas first time in 20 years. Really, you're appreciating Fremont. I mean, Fremont compared to 20 years ago, yeah, you know, I like Fremont Street. We go up there. We just met one of our really good friends up there, Teddy from Chicago, at the D. We hung out. You know, me and Jay like the properties on Fremont Street. I'm going to say it's probably the Fremont Street experience gets overwhelming. You know, I've explained this many times in the past. Like I get like overstimulated when I hear like 2 or 3 crowds or bands playing at the same time, and I'm walking through the crowd and there's the boom boxes and all that stuff. You know, that just really, really overstimulates me, gets me like kind of going crazy in my mind. So I know the walks are shorter between properties, but I don't know. I really just like the vibe on the strip a lot better. Any coffee spots? So that's another issue that we have over here, right? If you're going to bring coffee over to the Overlook, we got Italy and Hello Kitty Cafe at New York are probably the 2 best. Or the Aria Patisserie is actually really good too. But now you're carrying your coffee all the way over there. I don't know if they're going to be opening anything that really has coffee by the Overlook. That's kind of an untapped market, I think, right? Sit up there at night, especially in the wintertime, with a cup of hot chocolate or a coffee, just watching the strip go by, you know? So this side of the strip always kind of reminds me a little bit more of the crowds that Vegas used to have, right? Because there's a lot more street level crossings here, right? So we'll get a crowd of people here waiting at MGM. The other side over there, that's Bruno Mars Drive. Over here, I think it's just MGM. So So you have people that are going to be waiting here to cross the street. So that's why you get a little bit more of a crowd here, right? Oh, I would love if the strip parking was free. I just don't see it happening, right? You got to take into consideration that casinos, parking at a casino is revenue for the casino. They have shareholders, they have to abide by, right? They need to make their shareholders, would have to approve any type of change in parking, right? Like any kind of revenue stream being taken away would have to be replaced with a new revenue stream, or like a really good reason on why they're taking the revenue streams away. So I don't see paid parking going anywhere on the strip unless they can figure out a way to replace and make up that revenue. So unfortunately, it's here now with the Caesars possibly being acquired by Frittata, then he may change that structure, because when he buys it, that's going to be a private entity, right? It's going to be a private corporation. It's not going to be traded no more. Caesars shareholders are going to get paid out on their stocks that they own. So, he could do whatever he wants at that point. If he thinks setting up Caesars without having paid parking is good for his business, he can do that, because he doesn't have to listen to any shareholders, because he won't have any. Say, Candles, what's going on? How you been? No, I have not done TikTok lives in quite a while, because I had a little incident with a billboard truck driving past in one of my lives, and I got a bunch of restrictions. I had a little crash out, little meltdown, and haven't been live since. Now, I've been giving some consideration to maybe just doing some really safe lives on TikTok where, maybe I just show the fountains or the conservatory, short little, 20-minute live stream before I come over here and show people what Vegas is really supposed to look like, slot machines, showgirls, gambling, drinking, all the debauchery that gets you in trouble on TikTok. You know what I mean? This is way more immersive over here, and I don't really ever have to worry about what I'm showing. But yeah, I did have a little crash out, if anybody was on that night. This feels real nice over here in the shade. It's only, what is it? It's only about like 70, 80 degrees or so in Vegas right now. So see how long it took us to get from Aria, the front door of Aria, over here, if we wanted to just go get ourselves an In-N-Out burger? That's how far you're going to have to walk, right? Where they should have something that connects somewhere along here. And I thought right here on the corner would be a perfect spot, over by the Gucci, Dolce Gabbana store at Crystals, or right here on the corner where Whataburger is. That would be a great spot to have another pedestrian overpass that would bring you over here. And there's escalators right on the other side of this building that we're going to walk around and see in a minute. But right down there where them cars are turning, if there was a pedestrian bridge on both of those corners, that would be perfect. You know, it would just make the flow so much better. Oh, Rob is back, everybody. Yay. Everybody contain yourselves. The Reverend Rob is back. No, I like Rob. I'm just messing around. If people don't, I don't want anyone to think that I don't like Rob. Rob is a great dude. I've met Rob. Really cool, really funny. Tons of support for us. So we've always had a lot of fun with Rob. So we're just gonna walk past this security guard like nothing's happening. See what she says. Oh, look at that. They got the shades. They got shades drawn in there. Can't even see inside. Where's the Greek yogurt place gonna be? Yeah, here it is, guys. There's the In-N-Out. Yay, In-N-Out. Oh, we're allowed now?
I don't know why they stopped it the first time.
Because you know what? I did see a video, and the construction crew let somebody in the site, and I think that's probably what it was. So
Yeah, I see your video. I'm like, I made it to TikTok.
I kept you far enough away. I didn't want you to get in trouble. So, all right, have a good one. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. There we go. That's our big. All right, let's go to the ballpark now. Yeah, so directly across, I think would be a perfect spot for another pathway, pedestrian overpass. So they are allowing you up here now, and to record again. Ronan, yeah, that's our that's my plan, is to do my live streams on YouTube. I have a lot more fun on YouTube. Now I was just saying a couple minutes ago about possibly just doing like some short little, hey guys, remember if you want to see my live streams, come on over to YouTube, you know, but you know, there's a lot of people who have written me or stopped following me on TikTok because I don't live stream over there. And they're like, I'm not going to YouTube. And it's like, all right, well then don't watch my live streams. That's fine. So I didn't even see a sign for that, Murakami. My bad. You know what? We'll go back up and look at it another time. So let's go down before I run out of battery here, and get a look at the stadium. Oh yeah, the battle, and I did battles for like a week, and it was horrible. I think we did have that one really cool battle. I don't know if you were on there, Rob. We had this battle with some dude who, like, there was no one in his live, and he challenged us to a battle, and we accepted it, and we had I had you guys in the chat go over and just send him a couple gifts and stuff, and then you know I told people like, yeah, don't send me no gifts or nothing, you know this, and Mud went over and sent him like a pretty decent gift, and it like basically made this guy's week, man. It was a really cool moment on social media. The guy was so happy. He beat me in a battle, and you know, so that was fun. So, so Tim, right? Candles, right? Tim, that's your name if I'm remembering correct, right? I'm probably not remembering correct, but you know, uh, yeah, no, I enjoy it over here, and you know what? I like how the screen is like with the horizontal screen. You know, I can see so much more as I'm walking, even in streaming, rather than just that like more closer view.
That's an hour of edits. For this, I ran into a super given and their AI chat problem.
Are you live?
Yep. Yeah. Neon City Walkers. Neon City Walkers.
Neon City Walkers?
hmm
Do you normally just do the strip or what do you do?
I do mostly the strip, and we do like just tips and tricks and walking around on the strip and stuff like that.
Neon Walkers, right?
Neon City Walkers. Yeah. It's like on all socials.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of viewers with there or what?
Yeah, we're we just started on YouTube not too long ago, like 6 months ago, but we were doing really well on TikTok for a while, but
Kind of died down.
well, TikTok's just they restrict a lot of what you can show.
Really?
Yeah, so like you do a video if there's a slot machine in the back, they like
They bound it like
Yeah.
content.
yeah.
What is mostly your content that you like to do? Because I think there's another person out here. I think he's local as well, but he does a lot of Fremont
Yeah, there's a lot of Fremont
like,
people.
fights and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people like watching that stuff. You
Yeah,
know?
I don't know why.
It's
but
entertaining to them.
yeah. I
What about
mean,
your viewers? What do they like? They just like to see the
we just like
strip?
walking around the strip, walking through the casinos,
They
taking like.
see? What do they ask? Like,
So right now they are.
yeah, guys, just straight ahead.
Yeah, we just usually go through and like
Like
we
do
got
small talk on there.
yeah we got a lot of people coming out next week that are asking questions. Yeah, how do we get here? You know what I mean? So yeah,
What's
cool.
your name?
My name's Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
I'm Kat.
Kat, nice
I
to
work
meet you.
out here all the time, so I'll probably see you in passing, but
Did you guys still do that wing special on Wednesdays?
they do. They have this one right here.
Is it all you can eat or something like that?
We don't do the all you can eat
Oh, okay.
no more, but it is 20 wings for $20, and then they have like other combos that you
Oh,
can want
nice.
to do as well.
And you still got the cauliflower ones?
We do have cauliflower
Okay.
as well still. So
Nice.
that's
Nice.
another one that you can always, come check out. And
Yeah.
since you're a local, we do 25%.
Yeah,
off
I got
as
the
well.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
amazing.
All right.
But it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Take care.
All right. Now, oh, you know what? There's another. I'm sorry, Natalie. There's a Tim Candles that follows us over there on TikTok. Got confused for a second there. That's what I was thinking. But all right, so we're gonna walk down and we're gonna go check out the ballpark, see how they are doing on that, right? So it is getting warm. That's for sure. This is what I was meaning about like we're gonna end up with like a crowd here. And then a crowd on the other side, and then everybody's gonna walk in between each other. And then it's gonna look like old Vegas, like everybody used to remember. We should go and do the Coca-Cola store one night, me and Jay. That was fun.
Big enough.
So that's an elevator inside the Coca-Cola bottle. It looks really cool at night when you go up in the elevator. You can get some good shots of the strip from in there. But we get a lot of these characters here also, right? Trying to take pictures, right? You see Sonic and all them people over there. Like, if you're not, you got to agree on a price if you're going to do it, right? A lot of people say scams, whatever, right? I don't really know if I would put them in as a scam. But if somebody wants to take a picture of you in a costume and you're not at Disney World, ask them how much first. Now, legally, they can't tell you how much. They say, we work on tips. And you can say, all right, well, I'll give you $10, right? And if they say no, say, all right, walk on, right? So they can't give you how much they want. But if you tell them, hey, well, I'll take a picture, but I'm only going to do $10, and they say no, then you just walk away. It's really not a scam. You just kind of got to be, you just tell them. Like, same thing with the showgirls. Now, what is a scam is the monks. I really don't like the monks. The monks sometimes can be really aggressive, right? They come over, they try to put a bracelet on your, like, don't touch me, first off. Don't try to touch me. And get out of here, right? So if the monks start walking over towards you, just shake your head, tell them no thanks, and keep going. You guys got ambushed by Mario and Luigi. You should have thrown them a mushroom. Should have told him, listen, man, I'm good friends with Bowser. Don't make me call him. Was that his name, right? That was his name, right? Bowser? Yeah, I had them one time. I was walking, and some of the costumed people, they saw me like taking pictures. They came over, you can't be taking pictures. I was like, I ain't taking pictures of you. I'll take pictures anywhere I want, And like they were like getting all aggressive, and I'm like, get out of my face, man. Like, like it's just best to say no, thank you. But I know they do target people that have kids and stuff like that. So that's the bad part about it. All right, you know what? It's a little bit warm, so let's go through MGM a little bit. It's not my favorite way to walk through, but I could definitely go for a little bit of a cool down, even though it's only like 80 degrees. So this cool little arcade area, virtual reality thing over here too, which is pretty cool. To throw some turtles at them, right? Exactly. It's called zero latency, I think. I don't know. Maybe that's the virtual reality. They got some claw machines and other stuff for kids. Kind of cool. Now this is where I know for a fact that this is Taylor Swift playing, and I know for a fact that I'm going to get it's going to trigger a copyright. Every time I hear Taylor Swift, it just triggers. I don't know if she has people or if it's just her voice. Whatever her pitch of her voice is, just YouTube picks it right up. But whatever. I really like this song too. It's that Opidite or whatever it is. I can't even say the name of the song. So if Jay's watching, I'm going to get yelled at for that, right? Go see if my favorite blackjack dealer, Marcy, is working. Well, I mean, we're going to be walking through the general casino area. So there's the buffet over there, right? I don't know who's really upset that the MGM buffet is shutting down. I mean, oh, look, this was all slot machines. So I guess they're going to be putting in some new machines or something. Is anyone really upset that MGM's buffet is shutting down? or Bellagio's buffet shutting down, because I never really ever see people in those buffets. Yeah, listen, I'm not a big buffet person to begin with, so it really doesn't affect me. Even when I came to Vegas in the 90s and lived out here in the 90s and came out here for all them years in between I moved here, we were never like, I can't wait to get to Vegas and do the buffet. Now, the best buffet that I ever had out here was at Paris, but that was like in 2016. And I mean, it was just the food was really good, and we went a little bit later, and it was nice, right? Because it was like I ate, and then I was ready for bed, so we left. But if I did a buffet at like 6 p.m., I would probably be done for the night because I ate so much. Because I just can't stop, right? Especially if they had like all you could eat ice cream and desserts, I would just sit there for like hours. I'd eat like 5 trays of tiramisu, 5, 6 sundaes. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather. It looks like they put in a lot more table games over here too. Does this look like it's a lot more table games over here? I'm not always familiar with the layout of MGM. I get lost in here. I navigate Caesars a little bit better than I do MGM for some reason. And both of them are like labyrinths. Make the wrong turn and you're 20 minutes out of the way. You know what I mean? Book them in. That's normal there, Alan? Okay. We know what's going on. All right, so we're gonna walk. Now we're in the lobby. So we're gonna walk out front where the taxis are. And I think the ride shares can drop you off there. I'm not 100% on that, but you don't get your ride shares where you get your taxis. To get your ride share, you have to go to the underground and go walk to the parking garage to get your ride share. I have a video on that. I have a whole series of videos, and I'm working on more on where to get the ride shares, monorails, things like that, while you're out here in Vegas, right? So you don't have to walk everywhere. So we're gonna come out here. This is the valet. This is the taxi line right here. That's where you would get your taxi. Well, we're gonna go this way because we gotta cross the street and go check out what's going on at the Ace Stadium. Where's the ride share at Flamingo? It is in the back, Rob. Like where the lobby is, if you just walk towards the opposite way of the strip and just follow that hallway down there. $79 right now. I'm getting a little bit of a glare. I can see Murakami just put 79, but oh, look, they're getting out of work today. That's what's going on right now for these guys. So we have to walk over here and cross out. So yeah, the stadium crew, the stadium builders, they're all getting out of work right now. Now that was pretty cool when we went and did that pop-up inside the Towers over there. So Bally's could keep their gaming license active, they set up a little pop-up casino on site right there in that double wide shower. We went in there and dropped like $40. It was fun, you know, a little bit of fun. But we're gonna go walk over and take to our little secret, not so secret bird's eye view. So if you've watched any of my videos, you know exactly where you're going, or been on our live streams in the past, you know exactly where we're going. How is that? Oh, yo, still in business. I don't know. You know, I've been in there a few times. We saw the Neil Diamond impersonator that was there, and that was a great show, by the way. But it's always had like a little bit of crowd in there. And they have like low table minimums. So for a lot of people that want low table minimums, you kind of got to go over there. I think they had like five-hour blackjack before anybody else on the strip had it. Right now, Excalibur has 5-hour blackjack. I think New York has $10 blackjack. So there's a few places on the strip that have lowered their table minimums, but OEO has consistently been down there low. This is a crazy ass street to cross, right? All right, there we go. Carrie Ann, what's going on? Ghetto. Yeah, I think Hooters, right? Hooters is like doing something. I got to read that article. I took when we were just down on vacation down in San Diego, I kind of took some time off and just kind of stayed away from social media unless I was going live. Didn't really look at the news. Just kind of enjoyed myself for 2 days. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've never taken down the Hooters billboard here. No, I think in my whole entire life, I think I've only been to Hooters once, maybe. Yeah, you can see how dated that sign is. Look at that. They look like mid 2000 girls, like maybe like 2015. You know, I'll tell you what, since we're on the subject of wings, I know you heard me ask that girl at Brewdog, but like their wings are so good. Now, it used to be all you can eat, right? Now, if it's the same size wings that they used to have for all you can eat, 20 wings for $20 is well worth it because those wings were humongous. So that Neil Diamond impersonator, he's over at Alexis Park now. And it is a fantastic show, man. He used to be the Neil Diamond from Legends of Vegas. You remember that show, Legends? All right, so we're just gonna walk up in the parking garage here at Oyo. Pose golf, welcome in. Sorry, catching my breath here. I'm still tired from yesterday and my 9 miles I did in San Diego. All right. Here we are. A little bit too much. There we go. Whew. Set you guys up right here. Good little spot to perch. Looking good. It's looking good. Jorge, what's going on, buddy? Everyone say hello to the infamous Jorge. It is coming along pretty nice. Some guys, what time is it? It is 2 o'clock. So they're probably starting at like 6, I would say. I'm sure it is. You probably just can't park here. You'd probably have to park somewhere else. Yeah, I think they're gonna make some money when the ballpark opens up. They're starting at 5. George knows someone in every single casino. He's got a cousin that works this place or that place. So 5 to 2. Usually, isn't it usually 5 to 1? 7 to 3, 6 to 2. Unless they charge them for the hour. Don't give them a paid lunch or whatever. When I was in the trades, we would start 7. We would do 7 to 3:30. Then you would get your coffee break. They'd give you your 15-minute coffee break, but then they wouldn't pay you for lunch, so you had to work till 3:30, which I always thought was bullshit. But Carrie Ann, no, not really. George, we just saw a bunch of people walking out. Maybe it's another. They're probably starting at all different times. See, you got a bunch of people walking down over there, walking out, getting ready to go. Luke, this is the ballpark for the Las Vegas Athletics, Las Vegas A's. I guess that's what they're going to be calling them, right? Did they ever figure out the copyright stuff? Yeah, because couldn't they not trademark it or something like that? But I thought like they said, I forget what it was. The Las Vegas Athletics or something like that, they were having problems with. Somebody trademarked it or something. It is going good today. This is a good walk. I think when we get back over towards MGM, I think I'm going to end the live stream there because I got a few things that I content that I got to kind of catch up on. So I don't know. I'm hoping this is a better ballpark than San Diego's. San Diego, Petco Park in San Diego is awesome ballpark. They got great food. They got great, like every seat is a great line of vision. I like the Dodgers ballpark too. I like actually sitting out on the bleachers out in the outfield when we go to the Dodgers games. I like sitting out there. I think the Phillies are playing the Dodgers this weekend, aren't they, George? I think they went from San Diego to LA. I couldn't afford that kind of tickets though for the Dodgers game. So Jay and my son went to the game yesterday, the afternoon game, and they had credits on StubHub or whatever it is that they get the tickets off of, and they ended up being able to go to the game for free. So that was pretty cool. But the tickets, they had tickets for the San Diego game yesterday for like $10 or $7. But I decided to kind of hang out with you guys and do a live stream walking the harbor instead of going to the game, because I figured if I went to the game, there's a good chance that the Phillies would lose. And you know me, my superstitions on the sports. So one game was good enough. San Diego's coming to Philly next week. Nice. Pay $5 at Angel Stadium. That, I think we're doing Anaheim in September or August. I think the Phillies are out there. All right, let's start headed this way. $5. I mean, that's it's amazing that you can still get tickets that cheap for some teams, man. Dodgers are what, like 160? But yeah, it was a fun game. We had a good time. We had a good time. Jay almost got into it with somebody. Of course, you know, dress her up. Can't take her out. No. Some dude was like rude to my niece, and she was like, said something. And he was like, it's, you don't know baseball etiquette. You don't go to another team's stadium and cheer for the away team or some crap like that. Jay was like, dude, we're from Philly. We don't have no etiquette to begin with. And then he got all like, well, how about I come to your stadium and cheer for the Padres? She's like, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. Come to Philly. Buy a plane ticket. Go all the way to Philly just to prove a point. Go ahead. Whatever. So course it happened. I wasn't there. I went and looked for a cup of coffee, and by the time I came back, all the excitement had happened. But I could tell right away from the beginning of the game that this dude, like Bryce Harper hit a home run first at bat, you know, and like we're cheering, he's booing. Jay's like, oh, you're just jealous because you guys don't have him. And he's like, oh, yeah, right. Why would we want him? I told this story yesterday. Like, come on, dude. What team in the major leagues would not want Bryce Harper on their team? I don't know. I can't really think, you know, that these guys have the sidewalk. We'll walk the path. Yeah, so he was just cranky. It's like he knew the Phillies were gonna beat them, so he was just in a bad mood. They left around the 7th inning. That happened around the 7th inning, so they left around like the 7th or 8th inning anyway. So there's some baseball etiquette for you. You can't even stick around for the whole game because your team's losing. No, right across the street from us right now is MGM Grand. Alara is all the way up, a couple blocks up. And we're gonna miss this light, aren't we? And they got the pedestrian bridges closed off up here still. So, oh good. We're just gonna do a little cut. Because that's like, this is like a 5-minute light you gotta wait at. It's horrible. I guess probably not a lot of people actually cross the street here to go over to Oyo. Damn, Alex. Yeah, the dude was a total grumpy. You know, his buddy was there with him. His buddy wasn't that bad. I mean, my sister-in-law got crapped on by a pigeon that was up in the rafters. That was pretty funny. We all had a good laugh about that. Joanna, you have a great day. Thanks for joining. I'll see you Sunday. And we'll make sure that we don't get you on any live streams or anything. I think LR is a little bit more blue than MGM. We'll try to ditch Rob somewhere too. We'll give him directions to meet us, and then we won't have to worry about him for the rest of the night. Right, but that's good luck, right? Maybe that was good luck, right? When the pigeon pooped on my sister-in-law, that was the good luck that the Phillies needed for to win the game. Yeah, if you're not following us across our other socials, go ahead and give us a follow. It's Neon City Walkers, pretty much every social out there. Facebook, Insta, IG, whatever you kids call it. TikTok. Go give us a follow over there. We try to mix up some content so that we're not reposting the same exact stuff across all media. You know, so we try to be a little bit more specific. But tomorrow morning, I am starting our Think You Know Vegas back up because I took a day off or 2 days off or whatever it was while we were in San Diego from that. So if you think you know Vegas, every morning, 6 a.m. Vegas time, I have a post that comes out and you guys guess on it. What do you win? Bragging rights, I guess. I don't know. it's just a fun little thing to keep our community going. There's a lot of people that do like to give their guests. You know, I like doing it because some of them are really hard. I've stumped some people, and some of them I make kind of easy. So well, we're gonna head over to New York, New York, and sign off over there. I'm thinking about getting an ice cream cone, man, or a milkshake or something. I gotta check and see if we have ice cream at home. I'll ask Jay on my way home because I'll have to get it for tonight. I usually have a big giant bowl of ice cream every night before bed. Go to Albertsons. They got this mocha chip. It's like a coffee ice cream with chocolate chips. That's like my favorite ice cream anymore. That was some chocolate Jimmy's. Jimmy's is the proper name for sprinkles. Everyone calls them sprinkles. When's the next baseball trip? I think it is September, maybe. I think we're going to go see the Phillies in Anaheim, play the Angels, I think. I don't know. Jay makes all this stuff. You know me. I just kind of go with it. So we are going to take a walk through. I got to cool off in New York, New York. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We go sit down on the bench over here. All right, guys. So this is in New York, New York, where you come in from the pedestrian bridge. I know. I can't wait until the Phillies do play in Vegas. That'll save us a little bit of a trip. So, all right. I'll flip this around real quick, and I'm going to say, all right. So I'm going to get going. I will probably be going live this weekend at some point. Just keep your notifications on. Thank you all again for joining us. That was a good walk. I'm going to go do some content and go get my kid and go have lunch. So I'll see you guys probably Friday. So thanks again to all the new people that subscribed, and welcome into the chatters.